And the first order of business is to pass this mic around, and we'll get right into it now, where I'd like you to say your name, your profession, what you do for your work, and some things that you've done that you're really proud of, and give us the basics, give us the facts. We don't know anything about you, just go from that platform.
My name is Dr. Fran Vogler. I have two primary professional lives. One is I have founded and am medical director for an international air evacuation service, the medical air evacuation service called Air Rescue International. That's the private sector of my life, and in the public sector of my life, I'm a medical team manager for the LAC Fire Department for their urban search and rescue team.
We got involved with a bunch of Hollywood women, and we formed the Hollywood Women's Political Action Committee. Then I gave up the practice of law and had a new journey, and that was starting and running national nonprofit foundations and organizations. One was Earth Communications Office. Ended up being, because Maria Shriver, from the time I worked for her uncle, became my best friend. We moved out here at the same time, so I was very close to Carmen Arnold. I became his senior advisor in the recall campaign. Went to Sacramento, was senior advisor to the governor. Most passionate about our climate change laws, renewable energy, issues concerning women and children, and education. I was Secretary of Education, and I'm currently on the Board of Regents of the University of California. And other than that, I'm kind of at a crossroads wondering what my next chapter would be right now.
Years and have been arrested over 50 times for civil disobedience, divine obedience, and in opposition of war, nuclear weapon and power, the heartbreak of watching the remaining 5% of ancient redwoods and wetlands and natural habitat destroyed.
I've done a lot of work raising money for heart disease and cancer, which is really close to my family.
I have a mentally ill son who's right now commanding a lot of attention, and I'm mentioning this because I think mental illness is in so many families, but it's stigmatized and it's silent, and we need a support community in Malibu. We certainly need a support group here.
Guidelines of the Yoga Sutras to not do harm. And I love this screen. My eyes went right to the eating animals and the books up there, the urban farmer. To not do harm is the first, we call it Yama guideline to live by. To be honest is the second.
I'm still very concerned about the amounts of mercury being placed into the environment, because according to the government and to the California Dental Association, the American Dental Association, it's no problem. And this is one of the few advanced countries still allowing them to be placed in children and in pregnant women, when there are many good alternatives.
Founded Cornucopia, which does environmental education. It runs the farmers market. It has the environmental learning center in back of Malibu High School, and it's teaching biomimicry, which is the designs, architecture, and green chemistry of the planet.
Well, then recently I worked with Meryl Streep, who started Mothers and Others Against Pesticides, and that was something that opened my eyes. And that's what I just want to pass on to this younger generation, is to open their eyes and see what's going on with their food systems.
I'm an architect, a teacher. I'm homeschooling. I'm developing a little junior high school on the point here in Malibu.
That I'm very excited about is teaching critical thinking to women at Mount St. Mary's College. It's a women's liberal arts college, and giving them the power to decide what kinds of foods that are good for them.
And we make 100% organic ice cream, and everything is locally sourced and sustainably grown.
My name is Lisa Cantor. I have an MBA from the UCLA Anderson School. I've been a real estate developer, built and operated the Johnny Rockets in Santa Monica, and managed a law office. I've raised 2 children, been married for 34 years. For 20 of those years, our family has also grown deep roots, not only here in Malibu, but in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
And anyway, one thing led to another, and we did make that $100 million lobbying budget also go away. And one thing led to another, and I was working as the environmental and energy policy advisor to the congresswoman who also wanted that thing to go away. And my current passion is the nonprofit that my mom mentioned that I helped to found. And we're trying to study and advance the global shift to 100% renewable energy.
That 1/3 of all of the energy in the United States was consumed by buildings. And 1/3 of all of the garbage and the waste was produced by buildings. I realized that I could not be, it was not an incidental part of being an architect, but it was a key part of it. And so since that point, I became a LEED accredited professional and look to manifest that in whatever project I'm working on.
I successfully reopened my leather shop and built a studio on my own property. But in 2007, I lost my home and my new business location in the Corral Canyon wildfires that took 54 homes in my neighborhood. I needed 4 years to restore myself, yet the ordeal became one of the greatest life challenges of my life's challenges and created amazing opportunities for personal growth. I ultimately chose to build a green home that entirely powers itself on solar energy and employed every environmentally supportive system that I could afford.
One of my films just got another award.
I'm also, I've been in film for 30 years. I was a member of the Directors Guild in 1975.
Now my current project and focus is the climate change. Definitely not sexy, but a 3D documentary, a 3D social media campaign, a graphic novel, and a 3D feature film based on a Brazilian rainforest festival that's like Carnival on acid. That's eye candy.
Anyway, I'm working on a documentary, on several documentaries on human trafficking and sex trafficking, and right now I'm developing a video game on sexual slavery and trafficking.
Oh, wow, what a circle. You see why I had to do this? Gosh, you all, you know, when I was first thinking of this, I thought 10 people and everybody would have quite a chunk. And then within a week, we had 20, 30, and boom, such a high frequency group of women. And as a parent, we metabolize. And then we add some of our own stuff and then pass it on.
I mean, they've said that having a child is like being willing to watch your heart walk around outside you. And despite, you know, it's really hard to sit and listen when they're getting a new tattoo or a new piercing. And you just see that heart with, you know, tattoos and pierces. And they kind of, you know, you feel it inside. But.
So my biggest challenge has been to learn to keep my mouth shut. And that is so hard for me to do, and I really have to just kind of take a breath sometimes and allow them to make mistakes.
Because I think all daughters are born from our hearts and stay in our hearts forever, no matter whatever it is that they do, no matter how crazy they're acting.
Here I have 4 kids of a husband that I just married that moved in, and my own child who's adopted. So I have 5 kids, never given birth. And trying to figure out how to be a mother not only to my daughter and accepting of her, but also how do I do that with 4 kids that really don't want to be living here? That all changed over the years, I mean, initially.
But I know that my job is to kind of stay out of the way and let him figure it out for himself, because I certainly had to figure it out for myself, and I still don't listen to my mother.
I am lucky that I have a mother who is very supportive, and while I was growing up I was a little bit unbuttoned also, and she had encouraged me to you know, be a good person and go, but she knew that I was a little bit wild, so she also kind of accepted that too.
I find that if I really, really, really need to talk about something, I call my mother, who thankfully is still alive. Because at the age of 86, she survived 4 different cancers without chemo and has the most positive attitude on the planet. And as my mother keeps telling me, all right, so if I'm not around, I'll be here in spirit, just keep talking.
And I love it, Dee, when I can just talk, and my husband does listen. He's not pretty well trained, but that is important. To have someone that we can just bounce everything off of.
I have been in a relationship with my husband for 47 years. And he is an excellent listener.
I have an amazing husband, as anybody who's met him will say. We've been together for, and she said she didn't have one, but you have so much of but we've been together for more than 35 years and still madly in love, and he's just, every woman I know goes, can we clone him, please? He's fabulous for women.
And my husband's a 20-pound poodle. He listens to everything. He loves me very much. He's just lovely. I couldn't be happier.
It's interesting, it's your husband, not your child. I like that.
When I sit and listen to this group of women talk about their children and how they worked very hard to let their children be who they want to be, I think that's one of the reasons why I have such a great deal of confidence in the generation that's coming up. It's because I think they are thinkers, I think they are doers, I think they are feelers.
I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by, people like my mother who is starting, a new career for just all these different projects, and my older sister who is going her creative path. She's a photographer, and my stepmother and my cousins, and they're all very motivated women, and I'm glad to be surrounded by that.
Well, I hear you say, Natalie, that you're glad to be surrounded by motivated women, and that makes me feel really good.
I'm just grateful to be here with all you amazing women. I'm grateful there's so much love and caring and inspiration in this room.
And I think it's really important that we take that love and remember that everybody on this planet has the same goals, the same wishes, the same desires. We all want to feed our families. We all want to live a happy, healthy life. We all want to have a roof and shelter over our head. And so I thank you for summarizing that, and I'm honored to have been in the presence of all these wonderful women, and I thank you, Julie, for setting this up.
We are here on earth to do good for others. What the others are here for, I don't know.